All right, we're all live. It's Monday, October the 15th, halfway through the month, and just 1 week away from the Huntersville contest too. So everything's good. Nice, cool fall weather if you like that sort of thing. Personally, I prefer the nice, hot, sweaty summer weather, but to each his own. But hope you've been having fun doing something. Come in here and tell us about it. Flying planes, building planes, or whatever you like to do in your shop. As I always say, we talk about everything: planes, trains, and automobiles, be it models or the real big things. And Bob Bishop's already with us. Hey, you beat Jack Snavely on tonight, Bob. Welcome. I hope you're having a good evening. And I also want to mention to anybody that's coming in here that there will be a delay when you join, and I have to approve you and let you in and turn your microphone on, and your picture will be grayed out until I activate your camera too. Just taking precautions against unwanted visitors. We had one the other night. Wasn't any real big deal, but it's just a pain in the ass for me. Interrupts the conversation, and I think that's what the intent is anyway. But anyway, we ought to cruise right along now. Oh, Jamie's here. I got to activate you, Jamie. Hang on just a second and present to everyone and activate your microphone. Or I'll try to anyway. Activating. Can you see if you can activate your microphone? Yeah. See if you can do it. And here comes Sparky. Hang on while I activate Sparky. And show and broadcast. I pushed the wrong button for Jamie. Okay, Sparky's in. And Jamie, hang on. Show and broadcast. You're in now. Okay. Everybody's live. Pictures and sound. Good evening. How you doing, Sparky?
All right.
Good. Yeah, our little visitor came in and harassed us a little bit the other night, but so I just put a delay on everybody coming in, and I just got to pay attention and make sure I don't miss anybody. So, what you up to? What you working there on, Jamie?
Painting to come back.
Oh, cool. Looks like it's covered with primer right now. Is that what that is? DC 540 or something? It looks gray on camera.
Oh, it's to me it's sky gray. I'm painting it in acrylic.
Okay. How about you, Sparky? What's up?
Not a whole lot. I just got my high roller ready to go for Huntersville.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Huntersville. It'll be a big, nice break for me. I'll just have to sit on the old geezer row right there with everybody that can't walk around. But maybe I'll see enough people coming to me to talk to me. Yeah, I'm going to click you up. Let's see how she looks. Oh, the dice. Yeah, that really kicks it now. That is so cool. I didn't imagine it right when you said where you were going to put the dice. That looks good like that.
It's a little heavier than I wanted. It's 62 ounces, 62 and a half. But whatever.
Well, good. I hope she does well for you. Are you going to have a chance to fly it before you get to Huntersville?
No. Maiden flight will be in Huntersville.
All right. Are you going to be out there Friday afternoon?
We're leaving Friday morning, so probably be there Friday afternoon. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, late and tired. I'll be there late too. I usually don't get to do anything on Fridays out there.
I think it turned out pretty nice.
I think it did too. I think that's gorgeous. I love the lines, love the decals. That's a classy looking plane.
Not bad for built in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Finished it up today. It's all ready to go.
All right. I don't know if there's going to be fuel for sale out there. I know usually there's plenty of supplies. I hope Tom Morris shows up. Don't know about, is Jim Lee still in business? So I was told that he's no longer in business because I tried to get a Jim Lee product on the, oh no, I'm sorry. I got him mixed up with Harry Higley. I wanted to buy something from Harry Higley, but Jim Lee sometimes shows up in October at Huntersville.
Jim Lee.
Yeah, because I wanted a little drill guide for small bits from 1/16 up through a quarter, you know, just to bore straight holes on engine mounts and that sort of thing. And Bob Zambelli took a shopping list from me to Rodak the other day and said they didn't sell that Higley product anymore. So.
Yeah, Jim Lee's going to be at our contest this weekend.
Oh, okay. Well, that answers my question.
That's a long haul for him to Huntersville.
Maybe Tom will be there. Yeah, Jim's in Kansas, isn't he?
Yeah.
Somewhere over there by Oklahoma.
One of those heartland states. Oh, I got a new toy. Look what I got. I got me a little temperature pistol. See if I can shine. Yeah, there we go. Can't tell how hot y'all are. Y'all are 83.5 degrees. But the only problem is the laser beam is even as close as 1 foot is about 1.5 inches high and to the right of where the actual target is. And I chose this one because the advertisement on eBay and the specs on eBay said that it had adjustable emissivity, which is for different colored surfaces. Like on my Cox engines, they've got silver colored heads and black cylinders, and I wanted to be able to adjust it in between those values. And when it got here, it's just fixed. And so I paid $9 for it. The guys refunded me $3, and we call it even. That's good enough. I paid $9 and no shipping, but it's fun to play with. I shoot it in the oven, and I still hadn't figured out how accurate it is. I got
one that came from Snap-on, $75.
Yeah, that's probably a whole lot better piece of equipment than I got. Mine's just a piece of plastic is all, but
it's all listed in plastic. I think it came from China.
I bought it more as a toy than anything else, but there's been lots of times I'd like to point it at an engine and just see what.
Got any cats?
What'd you say?
Do you have any cats?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been playing with the cats with it.
Yeah, it's a good cat toy.
Yeah. I probably need to put new batteries in it now because I've been shooting the laser all over the place. When I was looking for these, I knew nothing about them, and they kept talking about the spot size. And I was imagining that it shone a light in a spot where you were shooting it, but it doesn't. It's just an imaginary spot. And the laser itself is just for your guidance. But the laser doesn't actually, like I said, doesn't actually point at the target. So you got to kind of figure out where it is.
Is that you beeping?
Yeah, every time I push the trigger on it, it beeps. It's got a hard sight on it like a rifle too. That might be more accurate.
Well, I got a green scope for a rifle. You know, it's a green laser for a rifle.
Yeah.
And that thing will shoot 1/8 of a mile.
I'd like to have one just for my varmint gun. I've got a 22 caliber Benjamin pump pellet gun, and I shoot the hollow point hunting pellets out of it at squirrels, and It's the pump's giving up now. It doesn't hold air anymore. I gotta get it fixed. My son's got a friend that knows how to fix them. I gotta get it to him though. But that's a badass little pellet gun. It's heavy. It's made out of walnuts, the stock and all, and that's a pretty good gun. Let's see. Terry Forbes is here. Oh yeah, he comments on your Hyro, a beautiful ship, Sparky. Terry says, and let's see. Bob Bishop's giving me instructions to point the laser up at the clear sky. I did actually, but I gotta let me let Gerald in. Hang on, Gerald. I'm letting you in right now. There you go. How you doing tonight?
He has to unmute his mic.
Oh, he is still red. Yeah, unmute your mic, Gerald. There you go.
Oh, hello, Rusty. Hello, Sparky. Hello, Jamie.
Hey,
I see the air has cleared in the workshop, so you can go back in there without a breathing apparatus now. Huh?
Yeah, smells lovely. But yeah, I've just been busy on cutting out parts for this, or a chief. Somebody asked me if I could copy some of the bits for a chief kit that I've got, but I realized that I can't copy the bits until I cut them all out and sand them and fix some of them that are damaged just in the process of extracting them. It's one of those really, like they might have well die crunched a banana. It's so the material that they used to die crunch the wood was too soft, and the formers are really badly mangled. So some of them will have to be replaced before I can even copy them off.
Yeah, it used to be called die crush.
Yeah.
Not die cut, die crush.
Yeah.
They really let those dyes wear out too before they change them.
Yeah, a lot of the formers are just so badly mutilated. It sort of takes half the former out. It's only cut halfway through the wood. When you try to release it from the wood's so parpy it just starts crumbling. But oh well, I've got big chunks of former that are missing where it's just broken away when you try to remove it. So I just keep changing blades, putting in a sharper blade, but not a fun job. But I thought if I make duplicates of them anyway, I'll be fine.
I had some trouble with that when I built my Sterling Yak 9
Got an echo going.
It'll probably go away. I don't know what it does that sometimes for no apparent reason. But the biggest problem with the Sterling kit was all the plywood was delaminated. It was so old that the glue just quit holding. But actually the ribs and everything were pretty easy to work with. I had to sand them and neaten them up. I think I had to make maybe 2 or 3 ribs, remake a couple of them, but that's about it.
This kit's quite an old kit, but it's one where.
Yep, here comes Bob. Hang on, Bob. I'm approving you to approve Bob Hunt. If my button wouldn't keep disappearing.
Do anything dumb like that one.
Okay, Bob. Turn your mic on. Yeah, you already did. Good evening.
How you doing, guys?
Pretty good. We got safety precautions in place tonight. Hopefully that'll keep the riffraff out.
You ain't gotta worry about Bob unless he comes in with wearing a helmet.
And no shirt.
Yeah.
Bob, if you ever show up with no shirt, we're kicking you right out of here.
That would be an ugly thing.
I appreciate everybody's patience the other night. I was out of practice at Whack-A-Mole, as called it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see my airplane, Bob?
What's that? No, I haven't seen it. I was concerned about Jared's son with some of those images that were up there, you know.
Oh, he's pretty good. He understands what's happening, and he knew what to ignore anyway.
Yeah, well, he's a good kid. I don't know.
Yeah, we've had that happen before when the kids have been around, when we've had people jumping in that shouldn't be and putting in images that shouldn't. But I think we pretty much know what to do, and it sort of improved after the guy got bored.
Is it all buffed out now?
No, it ain't polished. I just finished it today.
Oh, it's good looking.
Yeah, love the dice. You're not as clear as you were last time. Bandwidth's probably shifting a little.
into a full screen. I want to look at that a little closer. There you go. Oh yeah, love the decal on the rudder. That's pretty.
It says high roller on it.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Got the dice.
Good name, High Roller. Good name.
I got dice and decals on the bottom.
Yeah.
Mr. Jim Lynch.
How much does the decals weigh? Knowing you, you know exactly how much the decals weigh.
Yeah, I don't. It came out 62 ounces.
Oh, that's good.
62 and a half, somewhere in there.
Not bad.
You'd have to ruin a good sized portion of decal paper to actually find out how much it weighs, because you can't weigh it with the backing on. That's meaningless.
Yeah, but knowing Sparky, he knows every grain that goes, every grain, not just even gram, it goes in that airplane.
John and I were talking today. We still can't figure out how to get them in the Billy range.
I think Billy made a deal with the devil.
Is his P-47, is it covered with Japanese tissue?
Yes.
I think that's going to be the answer.
Yeah. Everything he did, practically everything, was Japanese tissue.
Jack Snavely sends his compliments on the high roller, and Terry Forbes says he's jealous over the huge gaps in your control surfaces. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Yeah. Zero.
Pocket hinging, yeah. Yeah, that is something I need to put on my list of things I've never tried before. Like I always say, I want to try something new on every model I make. So maybe I'll do that sometime.
Now I've only explained that in 3 different videos. So
yeah, I've watched that on several occasions. So I know how to find out how to do it if I have questions.
like the knuckle type hinge, it goes together like so.
Yeah. I saw Dave Tribble doing something similar to it a long time ago, so I don't remember exactly how similar, but I know that he carved a round mating surface and fit it together with no groove at all.
Remember the ballerinas, Sparky? Remember Charlie Licklider's ballerinas? And he had those looked like piano hinges on them, but they were all out of balsa wood.
Right.
They were beautiful. I don't know if they were very functional or very operational, but they sure look good. I
should remember his name, but the guy who lived in Indianapolis that died, Davis.
John Davis.
Didn't he have that airplane for a while?
Not that particular one. He had his own. I don't think he had Charlie Licklider's actual airplane. I remember seeing that at the 61 Nationals. He had 2 of them there. He had one that was blue, metallic blue and white, and the other one was gray. And they were both gorgeous. And he had boxes for them, and the canopies, you had little bezels that the canopies fit in. And he would crush in the canopy and lift it out of the bezel so we could go in there and work on the interior anytime we wanted and put the canopy back in and let it pop out to the bezel. He was a craftsman of the very first order and a professional golfer, too. His son, Frank Licklider, was on the pro golf tour.
Who did the gobble swans?
Bob Randall. Well, actually, it was Charlie Licklider's design, but Bob Randall flew it and won the 58 Nationals with it.
Most recently, Tom Creasy was on here with one. That's how we all got started talking about it.
Well, it wasn't a gobble swans what he had. It was
a Carousel or a Crusader.
Yeah, Crusader. I thought it was a gobble swans at first, but it's not. It was.
Lou Elgest had one at VSC several years ago. It flew pretty good.
O'Toole kept trying to get me to build a boomer, but it's just too out of the ordinary. Did you see? Were you there at the Nats that one year? The guy came out with a triplane that had 3 engines that was built out of arrow shafts.
Yeah, that's Jim Sumner.
Did you see the turn on that thing?
Yeah, he's had some airplanes. He's had some airplanes that have like 5 wings on them, like, you know, Venetian blinds, and they all fly embarrassingly well.
That thing was neat.
Yeah, he's a pretty smart guy.
Hey, Gerald, Terry says to try your Dremel scroll saw to get the old plywood die cut stuff freed up.
That would be, sounds a good tip. The only problem with this particular Chief kit is all the plywood's missing. Plywood. So I've got another plan. I'll just cut out a new lot of ply. But it was one of the old Vico kits, then gone on to Dumas, and now Aero was the last one, I think. So by the time Aero produced it, the dies must have been well and truly worn out.
I wouldn't try to use plywood on a kit that old, even if it didn't appear to be delaminating. Go ahead and buy new plywood all the way around.
John George bought himself a Giske Nobler down in Cincinnati at Lunken Airport this last weekend, and paid $60 for it. And it says on the box that the model should weigh between 36 and 42 ounces. There is no way you could build that kit with that wood and have it come out 48 ounces, 60 ounces. It was like plywood.
I built the review model of that kit for Top Flight. They sent me one, and I built the review and did it for Model Airplane News. I think mine was probably about 44 ounces, 45 ounces. I did substitute a little wood here and there, and I did some lightning, but it flew actually pretty well. And then somebody offered me a whole lot more money than I could turn down for it, with a young family, you know, needing money, so I sold it. But it was a good airplane. Good airplane.
So far, the only Nobler I've flown was an ARF, but I flew it as well as I've flown just about any plane, except for maybe my Twister and Cardinal.
That last Nobler I built that was hanging up here that I sold flies amazingly well. It ended up heavier than, you know, he sprayed automotive on it. It ended up 43 ounces, but it's still in the realm of reality.
Sounds okay.
I didn't have as much experience when I was flying that Nobler as I did when I was flying the Cardinal either, so that might say something about how well they compared.
Giske said many times the best flying ones he ever had all weighed 42 ounces.
That one that I built was a green box Nobler. It had an OS32F in it, and the bolt pattern to that is the same as the Aero Tiger 36. And Jerry said, well, I put my Aero Tiger 36 in it. The OS32 has more power. It's made to swing a 36-inch propeller. The helicopter motor.
A 36-inch propeller?
On a helicopter, yeah.
Oh, well, it's geared. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, belted. Doesn't do a direct drive, that's for sure.
No way.
It's, that 32 runs in
By now, Jamie should be getting pretty lightheaded. He should be pretty high about now.
Oh, no. Good. Now, Saturday night, that was a different story. First time dope in a plane. Ooh. I closed the door and enjoyed the next few hours by myself.
Helps keep you awake too, I reckon.
Oh, yeah. I didn't go to bed till 4 in the morning.
Right.
Yeah. Those late night bulls use the dope effect. It really helps it happen.
He never actually hit the mattress. He was about 3 feet above it.
I didn't even make it to the room. I was on the couch. I put on a movie and fell asleep before it started.
Too bad you were younger in the days of Aerogloss, because Aerogloss was really good.
I remember back.
He remembers reading your article about the Nobler and model aircraft. What was it? Man. Model Aircraft News. That's it.
What's that?
Terry on YouTube says he remembers reading your article about the Nobler.
My article?
Yeah.
Oh, that was in Model Airplane News.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say and couldn't get it out.
Yeah, it was metallic green, orange, and white. With orange trim and the white pinstripes between the metallic green and the orange. It was pretty.
You didn't tell me it wasn't copper?
It wasn't copper.
Yeah.
I've had other colors on my airplanes from time to time. Not many, but you know. I remember we're talking about spraying dope. My dad managed the Doylestown Airport for a few years in the early '60s, and there was a guy in there who was covering a Luscombe fabric one, not a metal one. He was covering a Luscombe, and he had doors closed. He had a space heater on, and he was spraying dope. And you walked in there, you couldn't see from one end of the building to the other. The dope was so thick, and he didn't have any respirator on or anything. Well, whew, boy, was he high.
Oh man, that's it. It is not good for you to do that.
I had a chance to fly in that airplane after he covered it, so
That's neat.
yeah, it was cool.
And that paint's going on pretty quick, Jamie.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't even know what scheme to go with. I was just painting. But I'm going to do like a big checkerboard. Orange on one side, black, reverse it, orange, black. You know.
So how much you got in paint on that? $1.38?
As of right now, free.
About 380.
Yeah. How come Tom Creasy hasn't been around?
He's been over on YouTube almost every night, at least in and out, but he might not have bandwidth. It depends. He might be where his dad is, who needs some personal care. And other than that, I don't know. I hadn't even talked to him on the phone lately. I ought to give him a call. Oh, here comes Steve. Let me approve you, Steve. Hang on just a second.
See if he has a helmet on first.
There you go. You'll have to turn your microphone on.
Okay, no helmet. He's safe.
Yeah.
Although he should wear a helmet.
Have a good night, Steve.
I'm old. I'm safe even to women and everything else now. So
Yeah.
Was there a time when you weren't?
Yeah, back when I was pretty young.
73.
Real young, because I could drink when I was 18.
Yeah.
And I was a hellion back then.
But before we were 18, what did you do to get liquid down?
Intravenous. Well, no, I think I started intravenous after I was.
You drank when you were 18, you know.
I drank regular before that. So
He doesn't drink anymore. He found a better way to get it down.
yeah.
Well, guys, it's my pumpkin time.
Hey, did you get your clear on your airplane, Sparky?
Oh, yeah, it's finished. You're going to fly it at Huntersville.
Show it to him.
All right, awesome.
I won't enter a contest with it, but I'm going to maiden fly it at Huntersville. You didn't see it?
Well, I seen it before the clear was on it when you had it all.
Yeah, it looks good. Take a look at it.
One more time.
Twist his arm. Twist his arm.
Oh yeah, that looks nice.
So that's a better picture than we had last time we showed.
Oh yeah, it didn't have the dice on it or nothing on the tail. I mean, that was really nice.
Those dice really kick it off. I love that.
Oh yeah.
Nice detailing.
How? Oh yeah, the ink lines weren't on it or anything.
Got to be rubbed out yet, but
That's about a month or so away, isn't it?
well, I do an initial rubbing. I'll have it some rubbed out before Huntersville, but it takes about a month for the paint to cure.
Yeah.
Good job.
Get it good and hard. Did you ever get to the motor and get it broke in at all?
Oh yeah, it's ready.
All right, no, that's good. So,
Okay, guys.
Be good.
All right.
take it easy, man.
See you later.
All right.
I finally got the 36X out to the shop and the Super Satan on the table. Gotta get the bolts in it. It'll be ready to take to Huntersville this weekend.
Cool. Have you found out any more when you got to go in?
Yeah, November 21st. I got a long way to wait.
Oh, I guess.
I'm on a walker between now and then because I'm not supposed to put any weight on that leg. But hopefully this time it'll stick. But it's been a long time, man. It's been a long haul. I'm ready to conquer this thing and get back in action.
Now, with your walker, do you got that thing really high?
Not all that high. I do have my elbows bent. Let's see, probably about. Got my elbows bent about 25 degrees, maybe when I stand in it. Am I on camera now?
Oh,
About
okay.
like that. Does that look about right to you? If you know anything about that?
Yeah, well, they won't let my ma use the walker, and because they said that it causes back problems with people. And that one nurse, I've seen this thing advertised on TV where you stand up and your arms are up like this, or down, straight down, and the pads are under your arm on this walker to keep you standing straight.
Yeah.
My father's on one of those. My father uses one of those because he's beyond the lower walker now. He needs all that support. So it sort of takes it from above there, or the arms are resting on it, and then he's got little handles, and you hold on.
That's what they said that she'll probably need, because they said that the walkers, that the more that old people walk with them, it messes their backs up, and then everybody complains about their backs hurting.
Oh yeah, well my back hurts. But hopefully I'm not going to be on it any more than another. After the surgery, I'll probably be on a cane pretty soon.
They said a cane is so much better for you than a walker.
Yeah, but it exacerbated my carpal tunnel problems in my right hand, and man, it was ringing so loud I could almost hear it. That's what it felt like anyway. I'll say it was ringing. That was just a feeling I had.
Wow. Well, you got a little bit more time to get a shop in there ready for yourself and all that kind of stuff before your hits. And
yeah, I'm gonna hopefully maybe I can get my son to bring that sheet of glass in here and put it on the dining room table.
We'll send like wings and stuff to you to sand. You can sit there all day and get them all sanded to shape and stuff and send them back to us.
You can send them. I don't know if you'll ever see them again, but
another good one I've built when I've been sick and I've had lots of illnesses over the years is the little scale rubber models, like the Gillows kits. They're really neat because they just swallow up huge amounts of time, but they're compact, they're small. You can put it on a little table in front of you.
Yeah, that's small, tedious work. That's like building a ship in a bottle or something.
Yeah, so some of them are a bit bigger. Some of them are like 30-inch span. I did one that was around 30-inch span, and it wasn't too bad. I know when you get to the little 16-inch span ones, they're a little bit too fiddly. Good hands.
Yeah,
Sparky built a control line stunt ship in a bottle, but he built it in a light beer bottle.
Let's see what you got, Jamie.
Tom.
Rumpler.
Oh,
yeah. 13.
Put it this way, I'm selling this thing. My hands are too clumsy for that fragile little thing. The parts are printed on the balsa. It's very, very light stuff, and I love free flight, especially in World War I. But nah.
Yeah, the first Guilo kit that I ever built, I think it was about 10 or 11, and I got it in Alabama when we were down there and started on it. And I built the whole thing with my Boy Scout jackknife, or my Cub Scout jackknife, or Weeblos, or whenever I got it. Must have been Cub Scouts or Weeblos. I got that knife. So yeah, I cut everything, all the little. Oh yeah, that's nice looking.
Yeah, now I built that back when I was in high school, and my history teacher, I brought it in for class show and tell, and my history teacher lost it. And I kept going back. He was a gym teacher teaching history. I kept going back from my sophomore year all the way through my senior year, asking him, Coach, did you ever find my model? And he kept telling me, no, it's somewhere up in the attic at school. And never did get that back.
They probably took it home with him.
Yeah, well, this is the first one I ever built. I was in high school, and I was, man, probably
did it fly good?
So 18 years ago, I built
Did it
this.
fly good or not?
Oh, I never flew it. It was just for display. I built it for a history project, and I neglected to tell my dad the night before it was due that it needed to be covered, and so he spent all night covering it. Thankfully it came with the right tissue, but it survived a lot of moves.
Over the years,
I used to have them hanging from my ceiling in my bedroom. I read all the books about different planes from both World Wars, but I concentrated for the longest time on World War I aircraft.
Well, that's what you grew up seeing flying, right?
That's what
you grew up seeing flying around.
That's why Bob always has a Wright Flyer in his van.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a Wright Flyer hanging in the shop. When my first instinct is to, it's a glider. My first instinct was to toss it backwards. Just looking at it, you look at it and you think the front's the back and the back is the front. But amazingly, the way that thing's configured, it glides straight and true. It's amazing how well that plane glides.
What kind of airplane?
Here. Hey, T-Bone, what's going on? He's in the YouTube. He ain't in the video. See you in Huntersville. Hope the forecast improves for Saturday. If you don't get to bolt the engine on, I'll do it Friday. Okay, I think I'll probably get it done. I'm really busy this week with doctors and stuff, but the engine is sitting there just waiting for me to put the bolts in it, so I don't think that'll be a problem.
All right, well, let's have some show and tell while we're at it. Since we're on the topic of yellows in free flight.
Yeah, show and tell's good.
Oh, shit. All right. I got this. I think I was 15 or so for like $5 in an old hobby shop. This is the Sterling Peanut Scale D8 and SE5.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Oh, you got 2 and 1?
Yeah. This one is an eBay score from 10 or so years ago.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
And, well, I mean, it started, but yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. This one I started and actually got the wings built.
Oh, Newport.
Oh, yeah.
That was a $10 buy 2 years ago off of eBay. Surprisingly, it was in perfect shape.
That Newport had a water-cooled radiator up in the nose, didn't it?
It was a rotary.
I don't know what I'm thinking about.
This is a little wing for it, the bottom wing.
Oh, yeah.
You're thinking about the SE5, right?
Yeah. This is the SE5 right here. This is the newer laser cut version.
Water cool.
That looks like what I'm thinking about.
And I actually have the wings built. I built this. Oh man, I was 19. I'm 34, and I can't count. So yeah, that many years ago.
You're 30.
They had laser cut back when you were 18.
Yep, that's when it was first coming out.
You're 34 now.
Yep.
Isn't it past your bedtime?
Yep.
34. That should be illegal.
But guess what? I pay the bills in this castle.
Yeah, Mom don't live there.
It's not fair for anybody to be 34.
No kidding.
But I lost the fuselage to it years ago, but I still got the wings. And so I'm going to draw out on a 1/4 inch outline the fuselage for a profile and put an 049 on it.
Okay. Yeah.
Plane completing the box.
Oh, yeah, another one of them, huh?
I got 3 of them.
Yeah, I was like Samantha Saturday. She's coming here and doing something. Like, I'm tired. I'm like, don't lie to me. I said, I'm still going and I'm almost 60. You can't be tired.
I turned 71 later this month.
Yeah. I mean, she thinks she's tired then now. And you got all of them, huh?
I'm not done. Here is an original SE5, still shrink wrapped.
Wow. Wow.
And 2 weeks ago, or in fact, right before Tulsa, I had the DH4. And I sold it for some pocket change for Tulsa. This one, sadly, I didn't pay much for it. This is a Sterling Newport 17. And for the price I paid, well, it's the way the box looks is way everything else in it looks.
Yeah, the box looks like it got bent in shipping or something.
And here's a Sterling Spad.
Yeah, very nice.
Oh, yeah.
This one's 24-inch wingspan, I want to say. Yeah.
Is that? I know at one time they used to do World War I combat. Is that what the Sterling like?
It was
they used?
Sig did a Spad in a D7.
Yeah.
The profile one.
Maybe they were SIG ones then that, but our club here they were big on the World War I combat, and they built, all them guys would build models and fly combat with them.
Yeah, SIG had them. I got the D7. In fact, the wings on the wall. My dad got the Spad. Let's see what we got here. I can get these all day long at our hobby shop.
Yeah.
He carried all the old Comet stuff. What else do I have? This is an Avro.
Is Comet
504.
Is Comet still in business?
Nah.
Oh, okay. 'Cause our hobby shop up until last year when the owner died, it had just tons of Comet.
Local companies, Comet and Enterprise and Strombecker and a million of them.
Yeah. This one, I got this one, 16-inch wingspan, 16 or 18, I can't remember which. All laser cut, includes a CD with instructions, and
just like they had back in World War I.
Yeah.
Look, printed little.
Didn't Eddie Rickenbacker fly a Sopwith camel maybe?
But the kicker is this guy that runs this business and his little drawing. This is, it's top notch. Is he does his own designs of World War I, his own kit, but he also does Comet, Gillows, Sterling, Cleveland, and Shark kits, and it's all laser cut. And this kit was $16. That's like a freaking steal for free fly World War I laser cut, and you have everything.
Yeah, it's obvious you don't have enough airplane.
Bob, you probably remember this one.
Red Wing.
What's that?
It's Red Wing Junior.
Combat and training for 09 up to 19. Okay, that's a little bigger.
But this was built in Ann Arbor, Michigan. That's why. But it has a metal rudder on it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I guess they were real big around here in the day. And then,
why in the world would they have a metal rudder?
because it's bolt together.
Oh.
It was from the balsa rock tree.
Rock, you got your rock maple, you got your rock balsa.
So then when you put the two halves together, one bolt goes through the bell crank and then up through the top. One hooks in the landing gear, one hooks in the rudder. If you could glue, you can glue it, but yeah, that holds it all together. But Gary what? He said he actually worked for a Red Wing.
Okay.
And when he was a kid, when he was a teenager and stuff, and boxed these kits and stuff, and they were all machined. At patterns or something, and they'd run them on a router and route out all the pieces and stuff like that. But and they had the junior and the senior and stuff like that. But he said that a lot of people flew them, and then they finally went out of business. I'm not sure when, in the 50s, I think. But yeah,
I didn't know Gary was that old.
Gary's 65. So maybe must have been in the 60s then, when he was a teen. Make him a teenager.
Kid.
Early 60s. Yeah, Gary's. Last time I talked to him, he said he retires in December. That he'll start drawing his Social Security. So then he said he's going to try to go to the VSC and a bunch of different contests. And he has more time, and so.
I'm gonna be. Where do you live? You live in Michigan?
Yeah, Grand Rapids, over toward Chicago, on the Chicago side of Michigan.
How far is that off 80?
About from where I live, it's probably 2 hours.
Oh, okay. I'm going to be coming back through there. I'm flying out Friday, and Robbie is transferring from Boeing in Seattle to Boeing in Philly, and I'm going to go out there and help him drive home.
Oh,
We're going to come through Coeur d'Alene and down and pick up 80 and come in.
Yeah, so you got to go through Dysfunction Junction. That's where Chicago and 80, 90, and
oh yeah, it's a mess there.
274, whatever, everything comes together in that one place.
We're going to try to hit that about 2 in the morning so we get through there quick.
Yeah.
We're going to drive straight through it. We're going to sleep and drive.
Hopefully, all the construction's done. Who knows? They're always working on that damn thing. But when we were going there to Chris Rudd's house every weekend, I mean, we had to go through that damn thing on the way there and on the way back. And you had to, and the worst part, right in that junction area is where they were doing all the work and had the lanes down to from 4 lanes to 2 lanes in some places. And
I remember going through there when we went out to Pasco, Richland, Kennewick in 95. Went out there for the Nationals, and it was a mess. We went out there and hooked up with Al Brickhouse and another guy, I forgot his name, and we kind of caravanned out.
Yes, I mean, over here, is a big airport, stuff like that, where all they come together. But then when you have 80 and 90, and you have 94 from Detroit that comes across, that's the main one across Michigan that goes into Chicago. There's a lot of big trucks. That's what, where all the traffic is all the damn semis. And then from there they head to St. Louis or Iowa or wherever they're going. Everything splits up.
Well, I'm wondering if we're near your place, we might stop off and say hi, but 2 hours out of the way, we're not going to do that.
That's a little too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know when you'd be coming through. I'd even, if it's on a weekend, I'd drive down and meet you at a restaurant or something.
Yeah, we'll be on a weekend. We'll be over this coming weekend. But don't worry about it. We'll see you someplace else.
Yeah, we wanted to get out there so bad to fly in the Philly area and the East or whatever and all that, but we didn't get a chance this year.
Yeah. If you ever come in, we got a place for you to stay.
Alrighty.
Although Robbie's going to be taking the apartment now for an apartment for my mother-in-law. She passed away, and we completely refurbished it. And it's kind of been Stunt Flyer Motel. You know, either Jeff Traxler or Bill Werwage or Frank McMillan come in and stay for a week at a time. And now Robbie's going to take it over for a while.
He's not married?
No.
Oh, okay.
Although there's a young lady here, and he's coming back. One of the reasons I think he's coming back is to see her. So. that magnetic effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll probably like, you know, I mean, when you're raised in a certain area, you kind of learn to like that area. I don't know.
But he loves Seattle. He really loved it out there.
Oh, he loved it out there?
Oh, yeah. He said he'd never come back, but they transferred his job, so.
Oh, okay. So they got a big factory there in Philly?
They got several. They got like 6 different plants down there or facilities. One is Vertol Hup, which is the helicopter division. We used to fly model airplanes at contests at Vertol Hup. And what they did was they donated rotor blades for big helicopters that were seconds or damaged or whatever, past inspection. And they sew them up into like 4 or 5 inch wide sections and mount them on stanchions on top of wood bases. And that was the trophies. And some of them were like, 4 foot high. They were incredible.
Wow.
They were 4 foot cord on these huge rotor blades. And they were cool trophies.
Yeah, that would be neat.
Yeah, that's a hell of a big trophy.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
They were neat.
Yeah, we had a lot of airplane stuff here in Grand Rapids. We had Lear. That's where Lear started, and then that was on the Grand Rapids Airport, the old Grand Rapids Airport, where my mom grew up. She grew up on one end of the runway, or off it a little bit, and then Lear was at the other end, and then they moved to Iowa or something like that once they started producing the jet. I don't know what all they produced there when she was a kid, avionics or whatever they did. They were here. We had Jet Industries, and they produced avionics, and then we had McDonnell Douglas, and Lear left right in the 80s, and then McDonnell Douglas left when they got bought out by Boeing. They closed that big old plant down by the airport, by the new airport. The other jet and the other ones were out at the new airport, but they shut down. And I'm not sure what McDonnell Douglas made. I should ask my cousin. I know he worked there at one time. I should ask him what he actually did there at McDonnell Douglas. But I know Boeing now has a place, in South Carolina?
Yeah, that's another option.
Yeah.
You don't want to go down there. And they got places all over now.
We got one down in Lake Charles down over here.
Hey, did it get cold there this morning, Jamie?
Nope.
No?
Nope. I was sweating at 7:30 this morning.
I seen TV this morning. Dallas, Texas was a degree colder than it was here.
Oh, but Dallas is like 5-6 hours north of me, though.
Well, they said it was coming east, so I thought maybe you guys got some of the, might not have been down in the 30s, but finally cooled you guys off.
No, I mean, it's gonna get down to the 70s. This weekend it's supposed to be pretty good, overcast, scattered showers, but it's supposed to actually be all right in the 70s for the most part.
Yeah, we're supposed to get up to sunshine and in the 50s on this weekend. So, yeah, you might want to bring a light jacket along with you, Bob, because if you get out of the damn car anywhere from Chicago area on across a little bit, it might be a little nippy.
Come through the Continental Divide there at Coeur d'Alene. It's pretty cold up there, for sure. So.
Boy, I seen this weekend how much snow they got there in Denver, yeah.
Yeah, but that's higher.
Yeah.
That's in the Rockies. We're going to come through the Cascades.
Oh, you're coming down through by Vegas and all that kind of.
No, we're going to come through the Cascades. That's north of the Rockies. It's the the
Oh,
out there.
yeah, because 80-90 splits, so one goes low and one goes high, right?
Yeah, we're going to take we're coming out 90 to Washington State, go through Coeur d'Alene, then we'll drop down to 80. It'll drop down from Montana to Wyoming, come through up there.
So you get to go through Donner's Pass and all that kind of.
Yeah, probably. Been a long time since I've been out there, but come through Little Bighorn and all that, So.
Don't talk to strangers.
No, I understand that, man. One of the reasons I want to come back with them, I don't want them going through all that area out there alone.
And I just looked at the forecast for Huntersville, and it's changed since I last checked a few days ago. It's 90% chance of rain on Saturday, 67 degrees.
Gee, how unusual. We haven't gotten any rain on the East Coast this year.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be 60 and sunny on Sunday, and 64 and partly sunny on Friday. Damn.
Like 40% Friday, Saturday, but wide open for Sunday. But high 85 Friday, high 76 Saturday, high 71 Sunday.
Well, I hope Saturday's not a wash.
No.
We see.
The way I look at it, my hotel's already paid for and it's non-refundable. At least I'll eat good.
Yeah, when I used to drive truck when I was a kid for cheese curls, we went out and we had to drop off in LA. So we went down through, kind of came through Vegas, that area and stuff. And then we missed the load coming out. So they sent us to Idaho to pick up instant potatoes. And
What did truck drivers
those there, huh?
What do truck drivers call LA?
Shithole.
No, there's a nickname they call it.
I don't know what.
Shaky Town.
What do they call it? Kinky?
Shaky Town.
Oh, okay.
Take it down.
But yeah, I never wanted to go back after I was there. It's like it was like 6 lanes of traffic, and we could see our exit, but we couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And that's how we lost the load. Was we couldn't make it in time to. But we should have been there in plenty of time. But to go up the distance we went, it took like 3 hours, and it wasn't very far. And it's like, oh my god. But
I went out and stayed with Warren Walker. He lives over in Ontario. I don't know exactly where it is in proximity to LA, but it was. But traffic was bad, but not terrible like you get in LA. We went out to the contest out there, the Charles Mackey contest.
oh, okay.
Flew out.
But yeah, it was pretty neat. You get to see coming back that way. You get to see the Snake River where Evel Knievel jumped his motorcycle, and
well, he
then you run through
this. You can actually characterize that as jumping. Well, like,
well, you get to see that stuff, and then you just get to see nothing for hours and
not
hours.
sure what you call that a motorcycle either. So.
Yeah, a rocket, whatever it was.
Yeah, it didn't go quite as planned, I don't believe.
Or maybe it did.
Well, they talked and they said that the G-force was so great it pulled his hands right off the controls or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the parachute dumped or whatever. But I could believe that. Strap yourself to a rocket.
Yeah, I don't think take that all the way anyway.
Yeah. It was just on TV, and last night I was watching. Robbie Knievel was on there, and they were redoing one of these Mattel cars. They had a 427 Chevy engine in the back. They made a little, it said Evel Knievel on it and stuff.
And thing with Travis Pastrana, where he redid a lot of Evel Knievel's famous jumps. He completed the one at Caesar's Palace.
Yeah,
he did 3 jumps in one day.
Yeah, the 3 ones he crashed at or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he did it on a Sportster too.
Yeah, that was just really.
with the same amount of 3 inches of travel and everything else the old motorcycles had.
Yeah.
Heavy bike, yeah.
That was like my brother when he got this YZ125 and it had 6 inches of travel. People couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, 6 inches of travel.
Get on those Micos and those Bultacos and all those things that have all that, you know, that travel now, and they Husqvarnas and all. Incredible.
Yeah, now the new ones, I mean, it's nothing for the amount of travel they have.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? The amount of travel?
Pork chop.
When you hit a bump, how far your shock will go in and come out?
Yeah.
My Kawasaki I had 3 inches, and it was just when you went over bumps and stuff like that, especially whoops, your back end would tend to do this. You hit, it was kind of like a dance. You just got the bike moving and it bounced back and forth because it just didn't have any travel to soak up the bumps. We were trying to ride across the top of them. But
Well,
yeah.
folks, I'm going to punch out of here early tonight because I'm going to try to get lots of sleep this week. I'm going to be doing this long.
When you flying out Friday or?
Yeah, it looks like we're going to go out Friday. You know, fly back.
The wife going with you too?
No. He's got a small car and he's got it packed up with. The only reason he's really driving back is he wants to bring his airplane back and he can't ship that right now. So he's going to drive back.
Well, that and he'll have a car when he gets here and stuff too, or gets there.
Yeah, you can always sell the car and buy a new one here. That's not a big deal nowadays. But
yeah.
he wants to bring that airplane back, so he's got the Tucker. You know, he's got that Franken Tucker.
Oh, okay.
It's much harder to change a model than it is to change a car. That's for certain.
Yeah, more about the airplane than it does a car, I'm sure.
Well, he really could change out the airplane easier probably than the car. I mean, with what Bob is set up there, hell, he could build another one.
Yeah, but he likes that airplane.
Yeah.
He flies it very, very well. So he has it balanced someplace about mid tailwheel. You know, I can't understand how he can
I
possibly.
like some twitchy, huh?
He likes them like so sensitive. I can't fly them like that. I literally can't fly them. You know, I'm scared to fly the airplane.
Well, maybe when he gets back, you guys will get some flying in and.
Oh yeah, definitely. We got a nice asphalt field. 15 minutes, 20 minutes from us.
Yeah, you'll be able to do some testing and.
Yeah.
You know, if.
He's big into working on canards, so you know.
Oh, Jamie's got his plane planted.
There you go.
Yeah. Are you ever going to build a canard airplane, Bob?
Actually, I built several of them, and I've had one that flew exceptionally well, but probably as well as anything I've ever had, and I could never duplicate it. And Robbie's been working, of course, he's at Boeing. He's got Howard, and he's got Paul out there to help run programs and stuff. And he and Howard have been working on some canard programs. And he actually had a couple of them here. When we have a big enough backyard to fly half A-size electric in, and he had a couple of them that flew very well. So he wants to work on that.
Yeah, because I always thought that would be the way for stunt, is that if anybody ever got a canard airplane, because especially with electric and stuff, I mean, it just doesn't drag the airplane down in the turn. And
well, one of the things that's good about electric with canards is canards are very CG sensitive, and this way the CG won't change.
Right.
The only thing that scares me is getting water on the airplane and heavy rains and having it change the CG somewhat. I don't know. We'll see. Listen, it could keep them out of trouble.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, though. I think if they ever got one that, especially like you said, where you didn't change the CD and stuff like that, if you ever got one that did, that'll change control line forever.
Well, I won't go quite that far, but I think it would be interesting. They have so many good. Well, you can't stall. They'll only, they'll turn as tight a corner as they're capable of turning, but they won't stall. Canard will always stall before the wing does. So you can only turn as tight a corner as the airplane's capable of, but no more, but it won't stall.
Right.
Well, that's a good thing. And one I had one of them back in '87, and it flew as well as anything I've flown before or since, but I could never duplicate it for some reason. I don't know why. It flew great.
Yeah, well, that and you don't have the drag and the turn and stuff like that to where.
Yeah, you're not pushing the tail down to lift the nose. You're lifting the nose to lift the whole airplane.
Right.
So there's so little drag on them, and consequently, you don't need flaps because they don't reach any kind of critical thing where you need enough lift to get them around a corner.
Right. I was just kind of wondering about wind up. If a canard would wind up because there is no drag going through the corners. And
with the electric, you got built in.
Right.
You can slow it right down. You come downhill so slow, you need a calendar to time it coming down.
Right. That's what I'm saying about electric. You got the balance that doesn't change, and you can, the new setup to where it won't wind up.
That's definitely going to happen. I don't know to what level competition-wise is going to happen, but we'll see. I mean, who knows? Might happen. One thing I'm working on now, I decided to build the lightest Caprice ever. And I'm making one with a fully sheeted built-up wing, 16th-inch balsa sides, 16th-inch formers, 16th-inch molded shells. The thing is going to be a feather. It's going to have titanium struts in it instead of metal landing gear struts. They're like a third of the weight of the metal. And the object is to power it with a Power 10 size motor and put it on 10,000 solids. Keep it under 40 ounces all up and put it on 10,000 solids. That will be interesting.
Yeah, that will. Yeah, that should fly good under 40 ounces. Holy cow.
Yeah, if you can get it at or under 40 ounces, you can go on 12 cables or 10 solids.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to try that. That's what Reinhardt and Scarinzi used to fly on back in the 50s was 10 solids. And that's one of the reasons their airplanes had such legendary performance, They had no lines on them. They were thin,
Oh, okay.
For IC powered planes, does all up include fuel or not?
No, and that's the thing, don't get me started. I'm really upset about all that. The electric airplanes, let's say you have a 64-ounce cutoff from the 15 cables or 12 solids to 18 cables or 14 solids. But the electric airplanes are have to weigh with the battery on board, but the glow airplanes don't have to weigh with fuel on board. It should be flying weight. Whatever the all-up flying lift-off weight is, that's what they should predicate the line size requirements on and the pull test. And there's a big brouhaha going on. We had one on Stunthangar here a while back. I got really heated about it. Glow guys don't want to lose their advantage, but they don't want to be fair about it. And to me, it's about all-up weight.
Yeah, makes sense. I agree with you, Bob.
Well, yeah, if it's a safety thing, they weigh an airplane and then pull test it to that weight, and at takeoff.
Yeah, weighs 8 ounces more or 7 ounces more, depending on.
When you hit that first wing over, you got a lot more pull on that airplane than you do.
Yeah, what happens if you fill it up, you take off, and lines break, and it hits the judge? Well, if it hits the judge, you give him a trophy. But if it's somebody else, if a lawyer got a hold of that and found out that you weren't weighing at a takeoff weight, I'm sure there would be some repercussions,
Yeah.
But I guess I'm on the losing side of that argument until enough electric guys, get mad about it. Because we outnumbered them this time at the Nationals. In the official events, there were more electric-powered airplanes at the Nats than glow-powered airplanes for the first time.
Wow. Well, I know at the World Championships there was more electric.
Well, yeah, sure, yeah.
What about in automotive applications? I've been trying to figure out how much my car weighs, and on the tag on the door jamb, it's got curb weight, it's got gross weight,
The dry weight.
So what am I looking at for the weight of the car without fuel?
Curb, I think, is without fuel.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think gross must be with passengers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, gross weight is the most you can carry with passengers, fuel, luggage.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
As a stunt flyer, I think all weight is gross.
Yeah.
No, it's a big thing with motorbikes. You look at the weights of the motorbikes, and when they put the fuel and oil in, because the motorbike's a lot lighter, it does make a big difference to the weight. So they always quote the weight dry because it looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, motorcycles were big on curb weight. Can't ride them that way, but
My Hayabusa had a 5-gallon tank, so it was quite a bit of weight. Quite a bit of, you know.
Like a stunter, I think a lightweight bike feels a lot better than a heavy bike, at least unless you're just on the open road doing flats, and it's like a scale model. It can be really overweight, and it looks more realistic in a way. It takes so long to take off and so long to lose that speed on landing. But for a stunt model, you want a light model like a light motorbike.
Yeah.
If you want it.
yeah.
I always said that it's possible to build a control line stunt model too light, but no one has ever done it.
Yeah.
Well, you just had to pump helium. You had to seal up really good for the lead outs come out, and then to fill the wings with helium.
And then the judge gets down and sucks on the lead out and comes up and says, "You disqualified." The story about
that.
Rusty,
Yeah.
what's this?
Combat airplane.
about the Goodyear blimp, the guy flying along.
Hang on, I'm clicking on it. It looks like, hold it up again. Well, it looks like a little Satan with a rounded tail.
Wrong.
And it doesn't have a outboard thrust on the nose either.
That is the little Satan. That is the little voodoo.
Oh,
No kidding.
very similar.
Steve, the guy flying the Goodyear blimp, he had a leak.
I couldn't see it before.
And he calls into the tower, and the guy says, "What's the matter?" He says, "We had an emergency up here."
Yeah, I can see the thrust now, Jamie. I didn't notice that before.
Yeah.
Man, how many airplanes do you have, Jamie?
Well, this one I just actually finished it yesterday.
Yellow. I mean, you like accidentally build airplanes?
Well, I mean, I'm trying to finish before I start another one. But since my dad wants to try to fly some half-face stuff Friday, I got this Satan I built like 8 years ago that he had crashed when the lead outs broke. So we're gonna try that one. I'm gonna try to get this one covered, but I wanted to get it covered tonight. And then the little combat kitten as well.
I have a lot of fun flying my little Satan, but it doesn't turn as tight of a loop as I would have expected it to.
I got a visitor. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. Say hi.
There. Oh.
Hello. Say hi. There you are.
Hey, baby, how you doing?
Casey.
Casey. All right.
Yeah, I'm a dope fan.
What is that? Part golden retriever, part collie?
A full-bred golden. Third golden. Come on. Stepping on the guitar cases. Come on, let's go.
Hope everything comes out all right. Yeah, I'm back on you now, James.
Like I said, gentlemen, I'm going to get going here. So good to see you all.
Yeah, thanks for dropping in on us.
Jamie, those manuals help a little bit?
I haven't really got a chance to really look at them. I mean, I skimmed through one of them, and just with the detail and the pictures and whatnot, you know, it's like a hands-on. Like I should be able to understand it quite easily.
Yeah, if you have any questions, give me a blast. And if anybody else wants those, I can send them out. Just send me an email so I can send it back, you know. So,
Yeah, good. I appreciate them.
Yeah. I have a number of them, so. All right, guys.
What I've read. You're very comprehensive and very detailed in your writing. I've had a bit of a read through them. Yeah.
You know, so many people ask questions that you want to boilerplate this stuff, so you don't have to keep answering the same question. But it's easier just to make a manual, you know. And I got a few more of them I want to do. One on fully sheeted lost foam wings. One on how to do Warren Truss lost foam wings, which is a little different than the other ones. There's a few of them I'd like to get done, you know. So we'll see. Matter of fact, I just got a response in now from Angel Segura about those things. All right, guys, have a good evening, and I probably will not be back on Friday. I'll be out in Seattle. So have a good,
have a good trip. Be safe.
Yeah, we will, and have a good chat on Friday, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Yeah. Actually, we won't have a chat on Friday because I'm going to be in Huntersville.
That's right.
But, usually Charles or somebody starts up a informal one that's not recorded to YouTube. But anyway, we'll have a great time, and we'll see you when we all get back together.
Okie dokie. Bye-bye.
Good night.
So yeah, I enjoyed that dope and silk span so much. I want to strip the monocoat off of here.
Enjoy it a bit more.
Oh man, I mean, what I found is like it's not hard to do. I mean, and all I did was just read the instructions off of Brodak. I know they got buku videos and everything all over YouTube and whatnot. And oh shit. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, well, you know, I have to do a few coats of this and then at one point I lost track of how many coats I was doing.
I do the same thing, or which side got it and which side didn't.
Yeah. But I have zero patience. So at one point, you know, I just doped all around, you know, did the whole perimeter around the bays, you know, and it was all covered. So, you know, I'm like, screw it. I went ahead and put dope on the bays. I got my heat gun, shot it up. Oh, got tight. All right, do all the sides like that. And then after a few minutes, when it cooled down, it started sagging. I'm like, well, that shit sucks. So I went ahead and put another coat all the way around. And I let it sit for a while. Came back and it was nice and tight. Like, oh yeah, that's the ticket there. So I just kept did a couple more coats with it, you know. And I just need to work, you know, on taking out the wrinkles, which, you know, it has wrinkles. But overall, for being my first time, I'm impressed with it. You know?
They continue to shrink. After a couple of days, you'll notice it get tighter. But
I probably should not even painted it yet, you know, because I just doped it night before last. You know, but,
when we did the ring master-a-thon, we had to finish our model really quick, and we doped them and then we painted them the day later. And it didn't seem to matter. But yeah, we were doping in the kitchen late at night. I had both boys up till after 12 o'clock at night doping, and they seemed to keep on going.
Yeah. It's like the smell. The smell. I ain't smelled that in years. In years. So I just shut the door to my room in here, and I just sat in here watching and had YouTube going on.
Don't get too carried away with it. Don't get too carried away with it. Sooner or later, that fun will wear off.
You get a nice headache. Yeah. You normally end up with a headache the next day. That's what I found after doing some serious.
You know what? Something that really bothers me is sanding balsa. If I've got to do a lot of sanding, that balsa dust makes me. I've thought on a couple of occasions I've caught a cold, and then a couple of days later I knew it was not a cold. It was just that sanding dust.
Yeah, it does the same thing to me. I gotta, you know, I bought some of these white masks and stuff, and I need to,
There you go.
Start wearing them more often.
Yeah.
Keep it handy, yeah. Sometimes if I'm going to do a real big sanding, I'll get my proper spray mask. If I'm going to use the belt sander or something, I'm doing a lot of sanding. They work better than the little white masks are good if you're just hand sanding. But if you're going to do some serious power sanding, then get your proper spray mask, I reckon.
Yeah, I even had my dog sneezing. I knew it wasn't good.
Yeah. Supposed to do bad stuff to your lungs. I know, I've heard that. But a lot of the stuff we use, whether it's our glow fuel being absorbed by our skin, or acetone that we might use, or
the methanol is really bad for you.
Yeah. So how long before that dries?
It's dry.
Oh, okay.
5 minutes.
It's dry. That's a good thing about acrylic. When you spray it, it dries within seconds, you know. Unless, you know, you do a big wet coat, you know, and make a run. Then that's a little different.
Now, where are you getting yours from? Oh, that's on the little Tamara or whatever? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Stuff I had left over.
Yeah, I was at. Well, I almost. You're showing all the Wheelo kits. I almost bought a Spitfire for 049, but I was in there looking, see what all they have, and they got some big bottles. I mean, about like that for $8 with acrylic, water-based acrylic. It's not acrylic lacquer; it's acrylic something or other.
I guess it was acrylic.
Enamel. It's either lacquer or enamel, brother.
Yeah, it must be acrylic enamel then.
Yeah, that's really popular stuff. It's really good.
That's fairly fuel proof. The enamel is, and the lacquer is not.
Yeah, like that plane there. I mean, it's straight acrylic, so it's going to be getting some of that 2K clear I got.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I couldn't believe that big bottle was only $8. But it's at an art place. They call it Reproductive Arts. They got big printers, and that's where I took and had some Ringmaster plans printed and stuff. And I seen all the stuff they had in there from brushes, but their brushes are way too much money for brushing up dope. But yeah, they were. That was really cheap for that. Then they got, and I mean, then
Is that 2K you're talking about?
Pardon me?
Is that 2K you're talking about that's cheap?
No, the paint. Most of these, I bought these little bottles and stuff, and they were about $6 or something like that. And this is a huge bottle for $8.
Mm.
But yeah, you're supposed to be able to use it on with airbrushes and all that kind of stuff. And then the next one down has some pretty fancy colors in it, and that's 12, a different brand, but they have some really bright purples and greens and oranges and stuff like that. But I'm like, for the white, that's kind of your base anyway. For $8, if you could get that on there and then, trim it with even the smaller stuff, you wouldn't use very much of it. I got to get some and try it, see how it works.
The enamel I've been using has proven to be quite fuel proof, and initially I fuel proofed it all, and I thought, no, let's just try it straight. And we've been running quite a few models that have done a lot of flying, and sometimes it comes off with its raw fuel, but otherwise where it's burnt fuel, it's been fine. So I've just gone to the thing where I just put the finishing resin on first, then dope, and then sand and fill, and then put the acrylic enamel on and leave it at that.
Yeah, I wish that Guardsman was still around. I should try to get a hold of some of the people I used to work with and see if when it curls down 95, so 93, 94, they came out with a catalyzed lacquer. And I built a house and I used it in the house. And the problem with it was that you really had to clean your spray gun and stuff when you're done with it, or you had to soak it in stripper or whatever to get it to break loose. But
Steve McBride just joined us.
Yeah.
I'm trying to let him in.
But it was a deal where it needed moisture to cure.
There you go, Steve. Sorry.
So they put in the catalyzer when they made it, and then once it atomized and got on the wood or whatever, just the moisture in the air would cure it, and it would stand up to lacquer thinner and all kinds of stuff that hit it. So it didn't mar and everything. It was a new thing for furniture. And I wish I'd have had more time to play with it, because it may have worked real good for your top coat, and fuel may not have damaged it.
And sometimes those catalyzed paints have isocyanates in them, and it's sort of a bit dangerous to one's health. So there used to be like catalyzed enamels that people would use, and they went rock hard. But again, they were bad for your health. So I know they've gone away from making those sorts. The availability is restricted anyway.
Yeah, this lacquer was something different. Kendall Furniture was still around, it was about the last of the furniture companies. We had Baker and Kendall, and they came up with that catalyzed enamel for them for their furniture, and they actually at the end, and I don't know how it ever turned out, they had a static type of lacquer, to where, I don't know, in metal parts you could, you know, they do a negative positive deal, and the paint will wrap around stuff, and they'd actually came up with a wood product that would do that. That would but I never did hear. Then the company sold and everything went away, but that was going to be their next, them two things were going to be their next claim to fame, and I really don't know who has, or if they even went anything with them, that type of lacquer.
Hey, Steve McBride, what you up to tonight?
Not much. Relaxing. Vacation this week.
Well, let me ask you, I think I asked the other night, but in all the noise, I didn't get an answer. As I was looking on your YouTube channel for the wings folding video, and I couldn't tell by the names of any of them. I looked at a couple of videos, the newest ones, and didn't see it. Do you know the name of that video?
Yeah, SV11 crash.
Okay. Maybe I just missed it somehow. I'll look again.
It's under McBride 001. And when you look at today, you look under the SV11 crash.
Okay.
And you'll see that one there. That's pretty comical when that happens.
Yeah. I love spectacular crashes. Not when it's my planes, but.
One of the guys at our club, he smashes Oriental in this past Saturday. But the great thing about it, he laughed about it 5 minutes later.
Well, that's, you know, it's one thing about wings folding on U-control airplane. Usually they just go right in. And an RC airplane, when it happens, that thing will spin its way in.
Oh, I did a half a lap.
Oh, you did a half a lap?
I did the way I came out of the doing practicing outside squares. Came through the outside square. The square eights, doing the square eights. Came out of the outside square, pointed the nose back up to go into the inside square again. And the wings just folded straight up. She did a half a lap that way. It just came into the ground. And I'm looking at it at first like, what the hell? And what's going on? And I just followed the plane around. It hit the ground. And I looked at it and said, oh, wow. And then I started laughing and walking to the airplane.
The only wing
wasn't worried about it because it was
on one side.
Airplane.
The only one I've ever folded was on one side, and it was the outboard wing. It also folded when I was turning up into a square loop, and it flew. It just kept going up and over and hit the other side of the circle and just about jerked my shoulder out of socket.
We had the nose call come from model this weekend when we were flying, but my wife was helping her sister learn to fly, and they clipped the prop on the takeoff, and then second flight up it was vibrating, and then the nose just came off and it went zoops, dug itself into the ground. It was quite spectacular to watch.
Oh, wow.
But, the plane just fluttered out. All the CG was wrong at the end of it, but no, it was amazing that it just bored itself into the ground. It was quite spectacular.
Yeah, really.
I wasn't worried about that airplane because I didn't build that airplane. I got that from a friend, and it was more or less a beater airplane that other people already had crashed. And it was something, hey, don't cry about this airplane, but learn how to fly better with it and put it through a lot of practice. So I did do that, and I really put a lot of stress on that airplane and had fun with it up until it crashed. And then I told the guy who I knew who built it, I said, can't you build an airplane that stays together when I fly it? At least mine stay together.
A lot of ARF wings that you see folding is because when they built them and stripped the monocoat off of the center of the wing to glue it into the fuselage, they scored the balsa underneath the monocoat with the X-Acto knife, and where they cut that little score line along balsa, it cracks and breaks eventually. I think that's why the guy from he's from Florida, a young guy, went to Embry-Riddle in Florida. Matt Cullen folded one, and I think that's why it folded at Huntersville in the middle of an official flight one time. I think it was a Vector.
I have a little propane torch.
That's what I use too.
And it has a wedge on there, and I light it off, and then you can adjust the heat to it, and I sit there till it melts it, and then just use that to...
Yeah. Against a metal ruler is how I do it, and it does it beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautifully.
Yeah, it won't score that balsa.
The only other one I laughed about that I saw that happened where the airplane flew apart, and I laughed. It was pretty seeing the other pilot was when they first made the Strega ARF, and the noses were flying off of them because they weren't reinforced correctly until they finally got enough of them to happen, and they figured out where they made their mistakes and actually put doublers in them and then reinforced them where the wing joint is. Before that, everybody had about 5 of them. The nose flew off of them.
No, no kidding.
Those were pretty funny. We saw that actually happening. The guy Mike Cooper out in New Jersey, he was flying his doing outside loops and came around in the outside loop straight up, and the nose flew right off it. It fluttered down. We all thought it was funny, but when Wendy got wind of it, he didn't think it was too funny, being the fact that was his designed airplane.
Yeah.
Was it missing a plywood doubler? Just a balsa doublers, like on a Chief? The Chief just got balsa doublers.
Oh, okay.
Hang on, let me click on. Hold it back up, Gerald. Yeah.
These guys are powering them with 60 PA 65s, PA 75s. It was the torque was just tearing the nose just flying right off of them.
Yeah, because I know most stunters you've got a plywood doubler, where it's ones like that Chief doubler is balsa doubler, but the Chief's also got a reputation for folding the wings, and you can see why. It's got the spars are inside the wing again, like on the Ringmaster, and the main spars are only like 1/8 square, and it's only got a little bit of sheeting here and a relatively small leading edge, and they're renowned to fold the wing. So any ideas on how to reinforce that?
That's a rough looking wing.
Yeah, maybe put in a little carbon fiber, them rods like they make. It's not really a rod, it's flat. Put that in there.
Carbon toe. You could
put it alongside the spar.
Yeah, you could stretch some carbon toe out and CA it in place.
Yeah, well, it's probably easier than I was thinking. I could put in spruce spars, but it puts a whole lot more weight on where you don't necessarily need it out at the tip. Whereas if you put carbon, and you could just have it in the center section of the first half of the panel at least.
Ribs or so, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I know it's known to be a weakness on them. And my wife Alina's model's up on the wall. Her Chief, I've never really put it through square maneuvers because I was always worried that it would fold the wing, because it's a standard. It's an early Chief kit with the set up for ignition. The early one's got a I'll show you on the early Chief. It's got, I don't know if you can see here very clearly, but the top block comes off for the spark ignition gear on the early Chief, and then the wing leading edge sheeting is quite short, and again it's got the spars are inside the wing. So that's her Chief there on the wall, but I was always reluctant to do squares with it, knowing that they've got that reputation, and it's just the box stock Vico kit. But yeah, that's probably the thing to do.
I don't know if you can see this, but this is 1/8 inch.
Yep.
1/8 inch tall, and then I'm trying to shouldn't read how thick it is. It's not very thick. It was only like $4 for 2 of them.
Oh, is that flat carbon fiber strips?
Yeah.
Yeah, those side by side would be pretty good.
Well, yeah, widen. You know, if it was 1/8 by 1/8. If you widened it out a little bit and slid this in alongside that spar,
Yeah.
I mean, once they're glued in, man, this stuff, you know, when you try to move it, you can't budge it.
Won't go in that direction. No, that's great.
You know, so that's what's in that wing of Samantha's new airplane. We haven't got to try it yet, but I embedded that in that foam, and no covering on it. You can't believe how much it stiffened it up. And then, you know, you see that we covered it like it's when it's finished, it'll look like it's a build-up wing. So
Steve, you can put it on just the center section or the first few rib bays or halfway up the wing. How far out would you go with the spar?
I went the full distance, but you know, I don't know if you probably wouldn't have to go that far.
I think 4 ribs is far enough out.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's good. I know where I can buy carbon like that, and I'll make a trip to get some carbon then.
Then again, where it ends might actually be a stress riser. You know, look at it and think about it. I don't know. I worry about stress risers. They can sneak up on you if you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Well, what I did is that one of these would do from where on Bob Hunt's wings, where the plywood thing in there went. It came in about 1 inch and then went to the tip. And I just cut them in half, and that way I had to have 2 of them. Then I actually went, you know, down to the corner to keep it from twisting, but that span ain't that big to where that would twist. It's just, you know, you could do both of them, and I mean that'd make that so strong. I don't think you'd ever pull the wing like that again.
Shear webs is another option. You could put shear webs in there instead of reinforcing the spar.
Yeah, you could put shear webs in there to keep it from compressing. But yeah, if you put the carbon fiber in there, you probably still want to put in some shear webs. That are like
it's never a bad idea to put shear webs in, at least for a few ribs out.
Well, another thing they do on Bob Hunt's Lost Foam, they run like a little 1/4 inch piece of balsa in between the spars, just to stiffen that right there in between the 2 spars.
Yeah.
And they do it that way, and I guess that adds a whole lot of strength on that compression factor when, you know, when
I'm not sure what you're describing there. Where can you run through that one more time? I didn't exactly picture what you were saying.
Well, if you hold up a rib, you know, they notch it for, you know, both of your spars.
Oh, yeah. Right.
In between that, they just stand a little piece of balsa like a cap strip.
Yeah.
Underneath that spar and glue it to the side of that rib. Now it doubles the rib thickness right there. You know, it's like a 1/8 inch rib instead of a 16th.
Right.
And you know, I guess that really strengthens stuff up too.
Minimally extra weight. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, you get rid of all the weight for you can go with a smaller rib and still have that wood there in the place where it needs it the most.
Oh, we just got a check-in from Charles Carter. He says, "Hi, everybody. He will not be able to host this Friday in my absence because he's going to be at Golden State Stunt Friday through Sunday."
That's where Steve's going too, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah, he says.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
He says Dennis, Steve, and I should have a lot to report on next Monday. So good, yeah.
So what is that contest?
Classic.
That contest starts Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday. Thursday you can start practicing already. Thursday and Friday. Saturday is classic, and I think roll time and so forth. And then Sunday's all Pampa.
Oh, okay.
Tell my buddy Charles hi and give him a slap on the shoulder. Be sure and don't knock him over.
Yeah.
That's a-
Ask Charles how that vector flies now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he can probably hear us. Maybe he'll answer
Yeah,
back.
Yeah,
That's
well,
like me.
Charles competes against me in same class.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, that'll be fun.
oh yeah, he's a good competitor. Charles is a really good competitor. He's a good
Oh yeah,
flyer.
man. Charles gets in the zone. I never met the man, but I know from talking to him that he draws down and gets focused, gets in the zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all fly in the advanced category, and we got you get a lot of entries out there in advanced, and it's really good competition.
Yeah, that's good. So, what do you got this week off and next week off?
This week, I got this week off until next Monday. I come back. I travel back on Monday because of the drive. I go back on Tuesday. I go back on work on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
I take a week off. I don't get any I don't get it because where I work. I don't get any holidays or anything like that off, and so forth. So this is how I kind of rack it all in together at one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we get Thanksgiving and Christmas off, but all the other legal holidays you have, Memorial Day, Labor Day, 4th of July, all that stuff. No, he makes us work them all. So
What do you do?
I'm an electrician.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm an electrician. We do a lot of residential service work, electric, and a lot of emergency call service work. So there's always a demand for it and constant work for it every day. So that's what I do, and it calls for working every single day. Sometimes 7 days.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just like here though. Now that they charge them time and a half after 8, and Saturdays are automatically time and a half, and Sundays double time. We don't get as much service work or any work on the weekends and stuff anymore.
Well, what do you do?
HVAC.
You do HVAC. Okay.
Yeah,
well, we do the type of thing we do. The company I work for, we do electric, plumbing, HVAC.
Oh, okay.
He has licenses for all of them, but I strictly do electric. I've been doing electric for 25 years.
Yeah, that's what we used to do where I work. They did all three, and then they ended up getting rid of the electrical part. So it's just plumbing and HVAC stuff now.
Now, I mean, he expanded into doing other things now. Now he got into doing restoration work and stuff like that, and so be it, general contracting. But I don't get into any of that, unless there's electric involved in it. I get in all the trades. I get involved in all the trades as long as it's electrically related.
Are you mostly industrial or residential or both or what?
We do mostly all of it that we do is residential work, and a lot of it that we do comes from home warranties. Either home warranties or property management companies. But a lot of our service work that we do, I would say almost 90% of our service work comes through from people buying home warranty insurance plans.
Uh-huh.
And then we do have a branch out that goes, and we do commercial work for those that are qualified enough to do it.
Okay. Yeah, ours was all industrial commercial, and it was just a deal. It didn't have enough work to get to work 2 guys full time, but the one guy, he was working too many hours, and so ended up shutting it down and calling in electricians. That way it works.
This residential work can be tedious and a real pain in the ass at times, and nothing to be bragging about. It can really become hairy where it's not great. But you can give me a commercial job any day over it.
Well, yeah, because it's like even with HVAC stuff. See, the electricians, they're tearing out drywall and stuff, fixing electric. It's not in conduit.
Yeah, tearing out drywall. I do it all the time. I'm tearing out drywall to fix electrical work and rerunning lines, rerunning wires. Even troubleshooting the residentials. It's a pain in the neck at times.
Yeah.
There's nothing I want to do much less than crawl underneath some residential house either.
Forget it. Crawling these attics that we got out here. When we get 100 degrees up in the outside, we got 130, 140 degrees in those attics.
Yeah.
It's brutal. So that's what, because they don't have basements out here. They don't dig the ground. They, with this hard ground that we have out here, they call caliche. They say it's too tough to dig, so everything's built from the ground up.
Yeah, same with my uncles there in Florida. I mean, everything's up, and it's like I've worked in attics on a few houses, and I mean, you climb out of them and you start shivering. You get so hot up there and stuff. When you come back down to 90-degree air, you'll actually start shivering.
Yeah, you think it's cold. You think it's cold. I go up there and I'm sweating like no tomorrow, top to bottom. You come out, even when it's 90, 100 degrees, it's cold. It's a whole different temperature. You're looking for it. I mean, the first thing I look for when I open up that attic, crawl space thing, and I open up the hatch and jump up in there, the first thing I look for is where's ventilation? Where is the roof ventilation? So I know where to grab air while I'm still up there. Or sometimes I have tapped into the HVAC ductwork, the flex ductwork, just to get some air out of them.
Yeah.
And it gets brutal. It gets hairy after a while sometimes.
Yeah, that sounds dangerous.
I limit my time. I figure out. I get my whole plan before I even get up there. This is exactly what I have to do, and I have this whole step procedure. This is what I got to do when I get up in there. I just get up in there, attack it, do it, and get the hell out.
Yeah, my cousins that in Florida there that work HVAC, they started at like 5 in the morning. So when they climbed inside these attics, it'd be actually cooler, you know.
Yeah.
1 o'clock, they were done.
Oh, I used to tell people all the time, like when you have an attic exhaust fan, and I replace a lot of those for those attic exhaust for ventilation fans. If I go in your house and it's 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I tell them I'll see them, and I notice that that's what their problem is. I tell them I'll see them tomorrow morning, their first appointment in the morning, and I'll be there at about 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, putting that fan in because it's the coolest time of the day. Yeah. It's about 80. It's only about 75, 80 degrees outside. It's about the same inside because it was cooler throughout the night. And you're good to go. But you don't do that in the heat of the afternoon. I tell them, forget it. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. And I hit those in the morning. The same thing now, I like it as it gets cooler. The wintertime seasons, I like it. It's like a spring day up there now. Yeah. In January, oh, it's comfortable as all get out up there.
Yeah. Yeah, so real bear. Well, guys, I gotta let you go because I got the doctor and stuff for my mom tomorrow, and I got to get up early, and so I'll see you Friday. Well, Rusty, you won't be on unless you get.
And neither will Charles. So anybody that wants, y'all can pick any of these and come to the most recent link and just click on it and you can start up one of these chats. It just won't go to YouTube. So, but
yeah, but it won't let us in, will it? Because you got blocked something on there or something right now.
No, that's
no, that won't be any fact. That's only from when I'm on with my control panel.
Well, I'll have my we're gonna bring our laptop with us, so maybe I'll sign on with that.
Oh, okay.
While I'm not there at the event.
There will be no chat because it won't be hooked up to YouTube at all.
You just have to go into old one. We can try.
It's gonna be hooked up to this, right? The way it is now, you can do the video.
Yeah, you can see the video, just the YouTube chat. None of that'll be functional.
Yeah, we can give it a try and see if we can get on this one from tonight on Friday and start it up.
Yeah, just go in and click the link just like you did tonight, and it'll put you all together for a chat.
Oh,
why is that? So what's being done on Friday? That the link that's being changed.
We're just gonna use this link, tonight's link.
Tonight's link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just click on it like you did tonight, and it should let us in. It just won't.
If everybody uses the same link, they'll still connect up and go live.
Okay.
Yeah. So me and Tom used to do all the time during the winter time.
Hey, Anybody heard from Tom lately?
Yeah, it was his birthday this past weekend. That's all I know.
Yeah,
I don't know. We said hi to him the other night on YouTube. I don't remember which night it was, but that's all. I hadn't texted him, sent or received any text or phone calls lately.
I thought maybe something was going on with his dad because I know that he doesn't have internet at his dad's. When he moved back home, he was back on, and then all of a sudden didn't see him again. So
yeah, I've been neglecting my friends because I've got so much of my own stuff going. So there's a few people I ought to check on and say hi to.
that's cool. All right, guys. Well, hopefully I'll see somebody on Friday.
All right, Steve.
Yeah,
All right, Steve.
yeah,
Good night.
bye.
Later.
Yeah, I guess we're the diehards tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to vanish before because the school bus was waiting to see my waving hands and face.
Yeah.
The
Well,
boys
that's
off the.
good. I'm glad they make sure somebody's receiving the kids when they drop them off.
Yeah, so I had to run out and then got them something to eat and got them set up with a drink and then they're fine. But it just means I've got to run at a moment's notice when I see the bus from the window. I just got to beat it. But yeah. So if we go on Friday night, there's no stopping undesirables coming in as well. Though. That's the only problem we might have.
They'll have no idea. Well, no, not if they should try clicking on that link. If they can get into Stunthangar, I guess they could come in. Yeah, but I think the likelihood of that is, well, now that we've blabbed about it and we're announcing to everybody how to do it, you know, somebody is a member of Stunthangar that got that guy in the other night.
Oh, that's no good.
There was somebody with a female name one time that I coached through the registration process, and she got in. He. I'm sure it was a he. And you know, that could be how. I don't know. I have no idea because you got to be a member of Stunthangar and logged in order to get to the at the bench thread. You can't even see the thread if you're not a member.
Well, I suppose.
Yeah, I doubt if it's going to happen. But anyway, give it a try.
Well, thanks, Rusty, for helping it all happen. It's a lot of work. I can see just to keep it all going along smoothly. You've really got to be on your toes when something goes wrong.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I enjoy doing it. And I'm going to take my tablet to Huntersville. So after everybody's gone to bed, I'll probably step outside and click up. I'll check and see if y'all are online and come in too.
I'll see what I can do because it's Saturday here when you've got your Friday night, and if my wife's home and she's got all these other tasks planned, it's hard to slip away and go online. But yeah, I can when it's possible. But it's like now the boys are back at school. They had 2 weeks holiday, and I'm free for a couple of hours. They're good though. When they're home, they don't. They know I'm going on Stunthangar, and I suppose like for Charles or other people that have got kids, they generally let you that little bit of time out to go on Stunthangar. Yeah, it's hard to fit everything in a day, though. That's the reality of it. Hard to keep up with all those contacts you make on Stunthangar, and for me, I've got to do the next club newsletter. We've got our meeting next Tuesday, so I've got to put time into that. My wife says, "Oh, not more."
I got a good start on it last night, and then forgot, that I was pushing the deadline real fast because I got today. I didn't get a chance to do it because there's dialysis and then doing the show, and then tomorrow I've got a dentist appointment and a doctor's appointment, all in preparation for the surgery. I got to get the green light from dentists, doctors, and everybody else. So now I'm gonna have to work on that newsletter and finish it tomorrow night. So I think you're on my mailing list. I'll make sure. but send that out. It's going to be a quickie newsletter without much entertainment this time, but just the facts.
Yeah, it's nice to keep people in touch. I know with our newsletter, when other people have done it, it's always a nice surprise when you get a newsletter and what's in it. But
yeah, I enjoyed your newsletter last time I got it. I read it through pretty well, and interesting to see what goes around in different clubs all over the country and all over the world.
Yeah, well, it's been interesting following the Ringmaster-a-thon, just seeing how many people are involved all over the world.
Yeah.
It's quite incredible. Just, I suppose some places it's surprising that there isn't more interest, and others you just think, oh, it is really active there. It must be really happening in Slovakia or Serbia or Australia, and you just realize, yeah, there are huge numbers involved.
I don't have anything to report from my own club. I'm gonna maybe call Will Davis tomorrow and see if anybody flew Ringmasters with our club and get him to send me something quick I can pop into the newsletter.
We were flying on another field this weekend because there was a TV crew using our usual field to make a comedy sitcom. So we've been booted off the field for 4 weeks because they obviously don't want model airplane noise in the background while they're filming. So we were trying out another field, and it had it was on a hill, a flat piece on a hill. We're flying on the flat section, but we had a wicked updraft coming up the hill. But the funny thing was that the downwind side of the circle, you could still do your maneuvers, no trouble. It was actually quite stable at that point where you were doing your maneuvers. But that upwind draft as he came round into the wind, oh, that was something. It caught a few people out. But yeah, finding a nice site that everybody can access is a difficult thing. I can fly here at home. I just mowed one of our circles today, but having a central site that everybody can get to is a big deal, I suppose. For every club, having a site that most of the members can attend. Was that very far from you, Rusty?
My club, Huntersville.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, well, not too far. It's about an hour and 45 minutes, hour and 50 minutes. So it's a pretty good drive. Yeah, it's in another state. It's on the other side of Charlotte, North Carolina, and the traffic at Charlotte gets pretty thick. So we're going up there and hitting Charlotte about rush hour on Friday afternoon. So that muddies up the situation a little bit. But so it'll be a 2-hour drive probably at that time of day. When we go up on Saturday mornings, it's about an hour and 45 minutes or so. So we go at our leisure and stop at the hobby shop in Rock Hill and all that kind of stuff too on, you know, on just regular meeting days.
That makes it a lot more pleasurable if you can stop at the hobby shop and do it legally.
There's a great Italian deli right near the field, so me and Wayne always ride together, and we stop and get a couple of Philly cheesesteak sandwiches and take them out to the field, because all those guys go out to Wendy's or something absurd like that and get cheeseburgers, and we come out there with our Philly cheesesteaks and chow down pretty good.
Oh, that was nice. That was one bonus when we went out. It was on. Was it Saturday? Or was it Friday? But yeah, we went to Esau, which was a fair long drive away from where we live. But when we got to our destination, there was a really nice specialty Dutch cheese shop, and they had marvelous selection of cheeses and other imported wares, different Dutch desserts and biscuits and things, and it really made the trip to the hobby shop worthwhile for my wife and kids, at least. Anyway, that's great. And then we had the Pocono bacon where we had our lunch, and again it was a really good lunch there. So it makes those trips to these far-flung hobby shops or flying fields much more worthwhile when you can fit in something to make it a bit softer on the rest of the family, or more appealing to the rest of the family.
What sort of interesting, good, delicious cuisine do y'all have in New Zealand that we may have never heard of here in the States?
Oh, I think it's a hard one. I think because we're fairly international, probably like America, we would have a mix of different Asian, Indian, and
fusion,
foods.
fusion food, I guess.
Yeah, it's just mixed. I think the national cuisine of what New Zealanders like to eat probably related back to what they ate in England traditionally. Different Yorkshire puddings and the fish and chips, the things that you hear the English eating, we would have eaten.
I love fish and chips. Yeah, we don't eat a lot of guts here, but some people do. But I don't eat guts if I can help it.
Well, the European influence here is the predominant one in the past, but now we've got a very mixed society with a lot of Chinese eateries and Middle Eastern and Indian and everything, Vietnamese, all Indonesian, all different types of eateries that you would have never had before, and they're different speciality food outlets as well. So we're very rich for all the diversity, but it's hard to point something and say, well, this is a Maori dish that you can buy at an eatery now, because you can't anymore. A lot of the traditional Maori foods, their pork and puha, as they used to talk about, or their different kumara and their a lot of the traditional native dishes are actually harder to get now. It's sort of swamped by everything else.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I suppose it would probably be the same if you were a Native American in America. You'd be very hard pressed to find something that is Native American cuisine.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Rusty.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your email address?
RKNRUSTY at AOL.com. That's one of them.
Okay. Let me get that together here.
Rockin' Rusty. That's me.
RKNRUSTY.
Yep. I've had that one forever, since the beginning of computer time.
Okay, I sent you an email on that video you want.
Okay.
You're looking for.
Right. I think I subscribed to your channel, so I don't have any problem finding that.
No, I found it on YouTube. I don't know how to put it on the screen here. I think there's a way you can put it on the screen here to show it or share it.
It doesn't work very well, though. Yeah, it's not worth even trying. We've watched, they're choppy when you try to do that.
I knew there was a way you can do it, that you could send it up this way, but I figured, okay.
Yeah, you do it like you do screen sharing pictures, I think.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, it doesn't work too well.
Well, the other way, if you don't want to post something directly or do send your email list, to use the Stunthangar messaging system. That's quite good to send private links.
Yeah.
I figured out anyway. You were looking for that video. I sent it to you on your email address you just gave me.
Okay, I'll check.
So, Stephen, is it just Stephen McBride at YouTube, or is it harder to find your YouTube videos?
Oh, my YouTube videos are easy to find. It's MacBride, MacBride 001.
Oh,
yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, I see you on the chat.
Yeah,
you've
posted it up there a little while ago. MacBride.
Okay.
MacBride, yeah. Same like you see, like my last name is on there. MacBride. You put that there with a 001.
Got it.
So my father posts all that stuff up there. He enjoys doing that. He gets into that and posts all the videos up. He takes the videos. That's why I like that. I got the GoPro camera and he videos them and puts them all up.
I got a pretty good collection of videos. I never catch my best flights because I'm the primary videoer in my group of flyers, so I'm usually the one pointing at the camera at them, and I don't get in. Every time I do a best flight I've ever done or something like that, usually nobody's got a camera out.
You have a tripod?
What'd you say?
You have a tripod?
Yeah. That's how I've got the flights of me that I do have.
Yeah, put on. When I do it solo, I put the camera on a tripod, Set it up, and that's it. The video you're going to see. That's exactly what I did there. I set the camera up on a tripod, started up. So when I do go solo, I have the tripod. Otherwise, there's somebody videoing.
There's so many times something really crazy's happened that I wish that I'd had on video.
Oh, I'm glad I caught that one on video. That was pretty comical. That was pretty funny. I came back. I told my father. I said, "Hey, you got a little problem." I says, the plane exploded in the air. I said, "I don't think this one we're gonna repair. This one's done." Because some of the beater planes, we'll take them if they're repairable enough. Repair them and put them back in the air just to use them again for that.
Video of the wing folding on my Yuki, actually, and yeah, you can see it jerk my arm really hard. But I've got two videos. The reason that wing folded is because the previous flight, I had gone more or less essentially gone to sleep during the wing over and just drove it into the ground and buried it up to its armpits, broke the wing off. It was a foam wing. So I took some 30-minute epoxy and put the wing back on, but the judges rushed me sooner than I thought they were going to put it back in the air for my next attempt. And so that is when the wing came off and when I turned up into that square loop. And so I got both of those videos. I got the lawn dart and the folded wing.
Oh, the square 8, and so with that's like the most stressful maneuver on the airplane.
Oh yeah, it's banging corners like crazy. 16 turns in that maneuver. Can you believe that?
Well, actually, if you call, everybody says it's 16. Actually, count the turns you actually have in it. How many turns are it before you actually finish?
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
18. Everybody says 6, and if you're watching, I was having this conversation with Charles. Everybody thinks it's 16, and they come into that outside square of the square 8. They hit the bottom, and then when they come back up on the nose, they usually just take that top and round that whole top off. It's straight up, hit the corner again, straight over, and now you finish the maneuver. When you pass the corner of that square
actually, technically, the maneuver ends at 45 degrees, climbing it straight up. So you could just ease it out if you wanted, but the judges would ding you for it, even though they're not supposed to.
They're gonna ding you on. They're gonna ding you on if you came straight up and you round that corner out on the top. They're gonna ding you for it and take the points off. But if you come up and hit that corner, hit the flat, come straight across, and then snap it and bring it back down and decline back down, that's where you're gonna get your points. But a lot of people just take that there at 16, like you said, and just round that whole section right out.
Now, the truth is, you better do pretty exits.
Yes, snap it straight back up, snap that extra corner, come there. You've done it 14 times already. And you said 16 already. You can actually hit them last 2 and finish the maneuver out.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to get those extra points for doing that. Otherwise, everybody else sits there on that bottom and just rounds it right out, snaps right around out of it. And you'll watch a lot of extra flights. You even watch the national flights. You'll see a lot of guys coming around that top right out of there. It's actually 18 sides. And I was having that conversation with Charles, and he was saying the same thing you were. And he looked at it, and I said, do it and count them. And then he said to me, yeah, he said, there's 18 sides, so when you finally get out of it.
Wow.
That's where it's good to get the.
That's my favorite stunt.
That's your favorite maneuver?
That's my favorite maneuver, yeah.
Square 8.
I love doing the square 8.
And a lot of people find that they like the square 8 a lot easier, and they can actually make that more to size than when they're doing the individual square before that. The individual inside square, the individual outside square. Don't make that larger, then they'll make the square 8.
Yeah, that's true. They will. Yeah, people bang that square 8 too quickly. It's just one of the things I had to get over. Coming from half A, I flew everything small when I first started. It was a while before I realized that, you know, the tops of those were supposed to be way up there, like a vertical 8 was supposed to be straight overhead. I was out there trying to do them all right in front of me, you know, and
Right.
I think it's a natural tendency when you first come to the pattern, you tend to think it should all be there right in front of me and not taking up half the hemisphere. It is that way, I think. But, yeah, I think watch out.
How long of a maneuver is your AMA8 or your square 8? From start to finish, how long of this? How far in the circle does that maneuver go?
which one?
You're either your AMA8 or your square 8. They're supposed to be the same
The
size.
square 8 should be shoulder to shoulder. Then the square and the square loop should be shoulder to shoulder, as should each side of the.
Okay, that's your regular individual maneuver. I'm talking about the 8 itself. You're doing your horizontal 8, so you're doing your square 8.
The loops are the same size. Should be the same size.
The same size, but how long in length is the maneuver in the circle?
Should be, hell, 180 degrees, I guess.
That's half a lap.
Yeah, well, maybe it's because we just sit there downwind and we're overlapping and squashing it all into this little.
That's how everybody overcrosses the intersections, and you got one halfway into the square, one square halfway into the other square.
One thing I'm good at is my intersections, and I always have them right up between my eyes. Well, I try to. That's my intent. I'm not saying I hit it every time, but
I pass them up. I cross them and pass them up. I try to minimize it. Sometimes
it was a while before I stretched.
It's hard. It's hard to get it accurate. Depends also on how your air is taking you. Whether you got dead air moving against you or you got a lot of air.
Yeah.
And we over here sometimes either get it dead or we'll get some gusts where it shifts around.
Now, it took me a long time to spread the clover out, and I was just compacting them all right on top of each other, and it's not a round maneuver. It's a square maneuver. You start up here, a loop, and way over, and then come back around. I have to make myself, after that first loop, I have to make myself go fly, 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 and then
you have to count. Either you count it. Everybody says either you count it or you talk it out somehow. But you use something to create your timing. But you did say it when you said way over here. If that's what makes you work, you have to come up with something that's going to give you your timing. Whether you're going to count it, I do it counting in numbers.
I don't because depending on the wind, the time it takes is going to change, and I just watch where it's going and kind of subconsciously I say fly, 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 but I just say that just to make sure I stretch it out. But when I get to my shoulder over here, it's time to turn.
Joe Gilbert's one who does that. Every maneuver he does, he uses the word fly. Where instead of counting, he uses the word fly, and he counts the word fly through his maneuvers to that point. Now, he taught me with doing that, and I tried working with that, and that worked out a lot better as far as understanding my timing. But I like the counting method a little bit more, so I learned where it is to the count. But yeah, you look at your wind on how your air is moving, on how you're going to count, whether you're going to do 1 and 2, or you're going to go 1, 2, 3.
Right. A lot of people do it counting numbers, and I can't argue with that. If it works for you, that's cool.
Sure. I learned to do it with counting, and that's how I got the intersections a lot more locked in and a lot more closer and countable. When I just figured out to visualize it and see it, I end up crossing.
Once you figure out where to put the clovers, each leaf of the clover, it's actually an easy maneuver. It's not a difficult maneuver. I have more trouble with the vertical. You know, when I first started flying vertical 8s, I flew beautiful vertical 8s, and now I botch them all up. I get them leaning to one side or make one loop
Oh
bigger
man,
than the other, come down too low and have to come back and borrow some air to come back around again. And I've completely botched my vertical.
what's your hardest maneuver you have?
What?
What's your hardest maneuver that you have?
The overhead eights.
Same for me. But
I find the overheads easier. You open them up. A lot of times sometimes I'll go into it where I come across, instead of going through the center, I come across on a lazy side. But the overhead height, hey, keeping that plane up there, there's no fear. Plane's gonna stay up there.
I don't get it far enough behind me, I'm told. I fly too far out in front and don't go far enough behind me. But I was watching myself do some eights. You know, the camera doesn't always get the intersection on the eights, and people don't know how to work the camera. But I've noticed that actually my intersections are better than I thought they were. I was watching some flights from old videos the other day, but they seem terrible when I do them.
A lot of times I've seen it. You're absolutely right about the camera on how deceiving it looks at that point. I know it when I'm flying the airplane, and sometimes I'll see it where on the inside portion to it, and I'll cross it lazy, but I'll come to the outside and I'll be straight through the intersection. You know what I'm saying? Like, so why is that? But then I'll look on the camera, and the camera makes it look like it's going straight through.
Yeah.
So sometimes the camera is deceiving, and it looks a lot better on the camera. And I said,
yeah, that must be what, because I know I'm botching my overhead eights, and that's the only reason. I think you're right. The camera gives me the illusion that they look better than they really do.
The camera gives the illusion, and it makes it look better because of the angle of the camera where it's set to the airplane. Instead of
when somebody's videoing, I like to watch like I'm judging because I need to practice judging. But when somebody's doing the camera like this, that completely erases your reference points that you set the first time they do a loop or something.
I don't like doing the tail, holding the camera and shifting and moving it around. That gets it all out of proportion. That's why you stabilize the camera in one spot. Open it up to its widest lens that you're gonna need. Zoom it back into that perspective and do your video that way. You're gonna get your best.
Set the camera low on the tripod and turn it up until I can until I almost cover up the pilot's feet and let him be at the very bottom of the screen. And that pretty much gets everything except the very, very tops might get cut off, like the cross section of the hourglass might get cut off. That's, I'm told by my coach, my best stunt.
Hourglass is my toughest on it.
It's what? Say it again.
Hourglass is my toughest coming across.
Really?
That's my toughest maneuver.
My coach tells me that that's always been my best stunt, and I didn't know it. I didn't realize it, but apparently I'm getting it pretty well. I pull out a little too soon on my last turn, but I was starting to really get the hang of bottom pullouts when I went down with medical issues, and that's so disappointing because I was just getting the hang of it. You know, I was taking a major leap forward in my skill set when all of a sudden I can't fly anymore. So I hope I can get back and pick up where I left off. I sure do fly a lot better in my head than I do out on the field.
I'm sure the time judging will give you extra knowledge.
Yeah,
difference I have in flying is being left-handed. Plane is in a different perspective left-handed than it is right-handed.
Yeah, Wayne, my coach and friend, flies left-handed.
Yeah, it's the plane is, even though it's level and everything's there, the plane is different in the way the plane enters the maneuver as it does when it's right-handed. Right-handed, you're ahead, your body's ahead of it, so your timing is ahead of it. Left-handed, you got to work yourself ahead of it. Because actually, you stick your left hand out and you got the plane straight out there. The plane's trying to always be ahead of you.
Yeah, because I can fly.
I retime myself, bringing it across my body, my arm across, keeping it tighter to the center of my body.
Yeah, it is an interesting point. Yeah, how you say you can lead it with your body when you're right-handed, but I can fly with my left hand, but not a full pattern. I just do the odd maneuver and
Yeah.
when I'm flying left-handed.
Like
But-
Eddie, you had your arm straight out left-handed, and look at the airplane. The plane's even with your left hand, or it's ahead of you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
your
'Cause
time-
I'm doing a wing over. When I'm doing a wing over and I'm going to pull up, I'm already right here when I go up.
Right. I gotta run. I gotta get ahead of it. So I actually have to bring my arm across more, get ahead of it to have my timing set. Which is why I turn. Which is why I do it more or less on a wing over. I'm standing straight up, straight directly at it, straight over my head, turning to bring that plane straight back down. Otherwise, the timing is all mixed up. I tried to do it this way here, sitting across your body. Oh wow! I put the plane all over the place, almost in the ground, and lost it. It ended up someplace I didn't even see it.
It'd be an advantage if you flew clockwise, though. If
No,
you're flying
that's
clockwise, then you'd be going around the other way.
Rich Jockerman was one who did that. And a lot of the lefties will do that too, and they fly the other way around.
I'm glad I had to run into
Do it that
anybody.
way, and I'm not about to teach myself to go that way now. I'm comfortable with the way it is. It's just a matter of now at the skill level. Always working on that extra edge of timing. That's all.
I'm glad I hadn't run into anybody that flies backward.
Oh, we did. We used to judge quite a few people like that. Well, like I said, Rich Jockerman was one all the time. He always flew backwards. He flew the opposite way. So he was a different person to judge. But great flyer. Really great flyer. Great friend. I miss him. I used to miss flying with him.
I suppose it's an interesting point. In the old days, a lot of the engines, oh, we've got a real bad reverb, but the engines had your exhaust on the other side. So instead of, if you're flying a profile, your exhaust was coming out the top instead of out the bottom. So it made more sense to fly them counterclockwise if they had the exhaust the other way around. I wonder if that was the intent, like when you look at those old, like an old greenhead where the exhaust is coming out the other way up.
I don't know. I've always wondered why they built those engines like that.
Yeah. Well, I suppose there's probably somebody up there that knows why that did it, but yeah, it sort of all changed in about 1960. I think most of them went over to having the exhaust favouring a profile model with it on the outboard side. There's still a few odd ones though. I've got a few Inyas like that, and this guy in our club built his Ringmaster Imperial, and he used an old Sabre 19. And because the exhaust was on the opposite side, he put the motor on the opposite side, and then he put this tank on the opposite side, and then everybody was worried about tip weight, and so they were taping weights onto his outboard tip to help compensate. But it still flew okay at the end. But yeah,
I remember talking about the vertical CG on here a couple of weeks ago. That would really screw with that.
Oh well, I think I've posted pictures of it anyway. But yeah, it does look odd with the motor on the other side.
Yeah. Well, the pretty side's out. That's the one good thing about it. I always think, damn, I got the pretty side in where I'm looking at it. I need to have. There's got to be a way to make the pretty side on the outside. The only answer to that is build full fuselage models. You know, so you can put pretty decoration. Like my Twister's got the Tasmanian Devil on the nose, but it's on the inside where nobody outside the circle can see it.
Yeah, it's a big advantage with the electric models. They look weird with the motor and batteries all hanging out in the breeze on a profile model, and at least with the built up, you can adjust it easier too. You're not locked with this battery pack stuck in a little box in the center of your profile. So yeah, I tried it once. I tried an electric profile, and I thought, no, never again. I'll rather put it in a built up model because I just couldn't get the battery where I wanted it. But, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, not much room for moving it around.
Yeah, it was like I was looking on the Brodac website and they had the Yak 9. I was thinking it would be a good one for my sister-in-law to build as a profile scale model for the nets, and it seemed a good idea to do an electric, but when you look at the electric one, it's lost its shape. It just looks weird as an electric. If it was a built-up Yak 9, it wouldn't have that sort of problem where the nose is sawed off and they've bung the motor on, they've rear-mounted the motor, and it just doesn't look right on a profile. And the battery pack sitting on top of the wing virtually in the middle. So aesthetically, it just doesn't look as nice like your Yak 9. It was a very nice looking plane. I remember looking at the pictures of it last week, and I was thinking, yeah, that'd be a good one. Get the Brodak Yak 9 and use that as a profile scale for you. But yeah, she'll have to do it glow. That's the only way around it, I think. But yeah, she's keen to go along and fly at the nationals, and it's probably the easiest class. She'd be lucky if she can fly all her laps unaided, straight and level. So scale's the only one I think that she could fly in. But yeah, trying to get my boys and Alina to enter stunt, but I don't know if I'll be successful. They'll probably all just vouch to fly scale because it's less stress at a nationals event.
Yeah. Well, if if you don't like the stress of stunt, then yeah, I guess scale's pretty good. If you want to get into some real serious scale, it is too meticulous as far as the building and finishing goes, and I don't care about putting ink lines and everything being, documented and all of the things you have to do to be really competitive at scale.
Oh, there's a lot in the competition of scale as far as putting everything to scale, making a scale ruler and making everything appear to scale to the real exact replica, and including the appearance of it to the exact replica, and then even doing realistic of flight to it. There's a lot of it. When I first started in this hobby, scale was a big aspect of my life in flying and being competitive to it. There was a lot to making that airplane be so pristine to the real airplane.
Yeah, and when you've got modelers that are building to a really high level and you're competing against them, I imagine it'll be a really good challenge. Here in New Zealand, we don't have enough people flying scale seriously to really make it that much of a challenge. You can go along with a profile scale model and still do well. And even with the what do they call it, F4C or whatever for the control line scale, with the built-up model, the full fuselage one, a lot of the interest isn't enough to justify a really accurate build. People are going to use a converted radio model, or they'll just pick a popular semi-scale model, and they're okay. Oh, we've lost Rusty.
I lost Rusty. Yeah. Well, you see, the difference with scale was very, very, very popular out here, and at one time, and it was really, really, really competitive, and that was great. The downside with that, what happened there was, it started to veer off. People got old. People started getting sick and getting out of the hobby. People moved. People ended up passing away, and that part, of the hobby of scale, basically died out because the people that were competitive, they died, they moved, or something to that effect. They passed away, and that's where there was no more scale competition. So Stunt was where the competition was, and go with that.
Yeah, well, that's part of the reason why I've got back into flying stunt. I was just flying scale and not flying stunt competitively in the last couple of years. Really, no more the last year, I've got back into flying stunt competitively, simply because that's where the competition is if you want to fly. So I just build a scale stunter, and that's my way around it. I can enjoy the look of the scale model.
The pristine and the beauty of the airplane, and to talk about the beauty of the airplane and how everything is so scale replica to the real aircraft, and talk about the comparison of what your aircraft is in comparison to the real airplane and what it did during the course of the war, which World War II or something to that effect, or World War I, was really important. It really had a lot of importance, and it was really glorifying when people asked a lot of questions about your airplane, and you got to show a lot of features that it could do. So that was bomb drops and stuff like that. That was pretty exciting at that point. But then that ended it, and that was the end of that. When veered off. We used to have a lot of guys. We would run a contest. We would fill the parking lot up and have over 20 or more contestants and fill up a whole circle. And it would be an all-day adventure event. We would fly carrier. You'd fly carrier. We'd have precision, sport, FAI scale. We had profile scale. There was so many different aspects of it that now they just make it to what's called fun scale, or sport scale and fun scale. And yeah, we got you. Welcome back. All right. All right, Rusty.
Okay, good night, Rusty. Have a good content. Good night.
You know, I was saying, Joe, we had a lot of people that were high contestants, and we had a lot of contestants, and it was really very, very competitive. That all faded away. Now it's like non-existent. So I sold all my airplanes I had to people that still liked them and still did fly and were moved to other states. I sold all my scale aircraft and got out of that. Everything's been stunt since.
It's a bit sad, but it does change. The hobby does change.
It does.
I've been in different clubs over the years, and you've got a member in a club that really gets everybody going, building scale models, and you realize that a lot of the enthusiasm of that was that one member got everybody building scale models. And I remember one guy, Bob Walters, who built this beautiful scale DC-3, and he had two OS-25 FSRs, and he did it up in the D-Day landing colors of the D-Day stripes, and he towed the Wacko glider behind it, the troop glider, and he had his son flying the glider. But it was something that really inspired a lot of people to see something like that fly. And you just think, I was a young guy, a young teenager, but yeah, after that, I wanted to build scale models. It was very inspiring.
Well, it was the same thing. I mentioned it a few shows ago, a while back, maybe a month or so ago. I won in the Nats. I won scale in the Nats. As a junior, I was 10 years old and I came in second place. I was 12 years old. I won first place in all three events of FAI, sport scale, and precision scale. And I won the Nats back there. That was a big highlight at that time as a kid. As a junior, and then after I got out of the Nats there, then I started flying open and flying against all adults because it was more competitive. And I held up with, and you know,